Giants coaching search is underway. Don Martindale has interviewed for the Giants head coaching position. And Paul, he's on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
He's been a defensive coordinator for a couple seasons with the Ravens. Previously, he had 1 year with the Broncos. Otherwise, a long-time linebacking coach in the NFL and in the college ranks.
56 years old, was not a player in the NFL. As some coordinators and position coaches do graduate from the playing field over to the sideline. This is a guy who did not have any NFL playing experience, but a guy who certainly with the organizations, you mentioned the Ravens and the Broncos, also with the Raiders prior to that, mostly worked with linebackers other than being a coordinator. So, look at that factor in that he has worked with the guys who are usually in the heart of the defense as opposed to maybe somebody who worked in the secondary.
Yeah, concern with the front, and he is a 3-4 front guy. He's not a 4-3 front guy, so that's first and foremost. And just looking at his last 2 years with the Ravens, he only was a DC for 1 year previously with Denver. So I think the best thing to do is to take a look at his last 2 seasons with the Ravens and what he's done. And the thing that jumped out to me the most, Paul, in examining what the Ravens have done defensively this year, is they are the heaviest blitz team in the league, and it's not close. They blitz on 55% of their defensive snaps against the pass. The next highest is 44%. So that is 23 or so percent higher than any other team. It's a 23% increase over what the Cardinals do. So, 55% to 44%, this guy brings the heat early and often.
Well, I think it's very interesting to note that he was one of the finalists for the Associated Press's NFL Assistant Coach of the Year award. And you don't get on that list because they only name like 4 or 5 guys of all the assistants in the NFL before they narrow it down. Now, he didn't win it, but to get on that list shows that he has commanded a tremendous amount of respect around the league.
Yeah, look, the Ravens, and I'll go back to 2018 in a second, not a lot of people paid attention to Baltimore. They weren't a very good team in 2018. They had a down year. They are second in the league in points allowed, first in the league in yards allowed, second in pass defense yards, third in rush defense yards. So, and he's built on that this year. Now, he's gotten help from a dynamic offense that often gets leads and stuff like that. But again, this year, 4th in yards per game, 6th in pass yards per play, the 3rd in points allowed per game, the advanced numbers and the DVOA numbers on defense, top 6 each of the last 2 years. So the Ravens have been a very, very aggressive and good defense under his tutelage the last 2 seasons.
Well, they play in what many people think is kind of the black and blue division of the AFC, the way that they batter people around and knock them around. Think of it this way. In one regard, in a way, he's kind of like the third Harbaugh coach because Jack Harbaugh at Western Kentucky originally had Martindale as his assistant there in the college ranks. And, of course, who's Harbaugh? Harbaugh is the coach of the Ravens, one brother there. And the other Harbaugh, we all know Michigan and San Francisco and, his tenure in the NFL as a coach. So you got Jack, who was one of the deans of family coaching trees, was the guy who really kind of gave Martindale his first big taste of what it was like to be a coach. Is it any surprise that he would have wound up with the Ravens?
And if you look at how the Ravens have generated this defense this year, Paul, they've put a lot of their investment and a lot of their big-name players in the secondary. Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphreys, Jimmy Smith, Earl Thomas, Brandon Carr. Those are where their big-time players are. Like Matt Judon and Tyus Bowser are their top pass rushers. These, it's not like they have Zadarius Smith still rushing the pass or Terrell Suggs. They were there that last year, not there in 2019. So he's managed to produce a lot of this pressure and have a really good, effective defense despite not having some of those premier pass rushers.
There have been some big names who have left that Ravens defense over the years. Remember, Super Bowl 47, he was part of the assistant coaching corps there. He was a linebackers coach at that time. Ed Reed's not with that Ravens defense anymore. Ray Lewis is not with that defense anymore. But yet Baltimore's D continues to produce, and you have to feel the consistency of what he has brought to the table has been part of that.
And, of course, number 1 seed in the AFC. Can't go wrong with that. Paul, good stuff. We appreciate the time.
You got it.
Thanks for being with us. Stay tuned to Giants.com as we continue to cover the Giants' search for a new head coach.
Hey Giants fans, Saquon Barkley here. You want to see more videos? Subscribe below.